Okay, 30 seconds, let's go. I'm probably gonna have to keep this one short. Short, not because it's, yet another plan of mine, which I will never, deliver on. Yeah, sure, this one's gonna be relatively short, guys. Ends up talking for an hour or even over, just like every time he does. Anyway, Canada is on fire again, which I absolutely adore. I think people should go on fire once in a while, but I don't know if the camera and the compression actually. Yeah, I don't think it catches it at all, but we are in quite a bit of a haze right now. So it's supposed to be very dangerous, supposed to be very deadly, which I do not entirely believe. I mean, have you ever guys been by a fire in your life? Ever? That's not considered dangerous. Well, anyway. It's not entirely good though when the air is dirty to the point where you can literally see like a Los Angeles type of, haze in the air. It's definitely not something reassuring. But anyway, have I been doing anything even remotely interesting? Really not. It's just a workshop type of stuff. I took an old laptop a friend of mine did not need. Funny enough, from another friend, I may actually get another laptop now, but that one will be like on a rather small side. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I don't know, whichever one I want to fucking use. So yeah, like whatever. And I installed Linux on it, so that I can. I need stop. So that I can use it for a bit of a project of mine. Okay, good. So all kinds of insects, especially like black flies type of things, they actually bite rather nastily. Okay, well anyway, installed Linux on an old laptop. Fantastic. Good news, everyone. Still working on a bit of a music thing, and well, technically I still have that book to finish, but I don't know if anyone actually needs it, because if I were to share that book with anyone, which I already have actually, it's all things considered. So it's like what? It's like 4 chapters which I consider like pretty solid drafts, and 3 chapters of what I am calling zero drafts. Well, zero draft is actually a term, I think, that's like legitimately used. That's how I am aware of that term. But I mean, you can totally read them. It's not just kind of like a loosely writing down whatever like needs to happen. Like, no, it's actually kind of written pretty much in the structure and in the way that I would like it to be. It's just that I did not, sit with every sentence for like 30 minutes trying to craft it, for it to be the best way possible. I'm not sure if John Tolkien did the same thing, or if whatever he did just came out naturally. I mean, I know obviously he invested a lot of time into like world building, but I've always wondered how much effort it actually took him, how much time it actually took him to, to be that good with words. The elevated poetic writing of John Tolkien, how much time it actually took him to craft each sentence, so to speak. Because I know that there must be people out there who have writers out there who have like a relatively elevated prose style, like Stephen King, for example. And allegedly Stephen King writes a novel a day. Whatever he sends to his editor or editors obviously isn't necessarily the final product, but I assume he will at this point would be just naturally capable of writing in this style. Most people do not write in such a style, actually. Like most people, like you would need to basically go out of your way to write like Stephen King. You would need to get in the mood for it. Well, since we're all video gamers here, like if you played Alan Wake, for example, right? Like all the manuscript pages from Alan Wake, the cheesy, pretentious, up its own arse Sam Lake's writing, and Max Payne, both 1 and 2, pretty much had the same writing. And I think whoever wrote for Max Payne 3 tried to emulate it as well. But yeah, Max Payne 1 and 2 and Alan Wake, both the original and the standalone DLC as well, the American Nightmare, they have this like very elevated, very poetic, not actually all that elevated, but very dramatic, right? Like style of writing. Well, that style of writing is largely attributed to being invented by Stephen King, right? Which actually, like, I'm not even entirely sure who exactly invented it, but definitely not Stephen King, because Stephen King's writing is much more raw. Stephen King kind of like, he more writes kind of like he talks. Like he has a lot of pretty ugly things in his writings, right? But simultaneously, I don't know, maybe it's just because Alan Wake is like a bit more mellow. Like Stephen King is a pretty edgy boy, right? And Alan Wake, all things considered, is a bit more mellow. Otherwise, it's probably about the same writing style, I assume. I don't know. Okay, so Stephen King's type of writing. Like, most normal people and most even like semi-professional writers, they like this is not how you just write things. Okay, Moon, stop. Being bitten by all kinds of things, right? We. Okay, cool. So yeah, he is like, he's not necessarily writing in this kind of style, like off the bat. He most likely writes in a relatively normal style first, and then he elevates it. So we have someone like Tolkien whose writing is like super elevated, right? Aini. It's probably a squirrel. A very small squirrel was running away from him just the other minute, and it was yelling while I was doing it. And I wondered, well, do you have to yell while you're running away from you? I mean, you're running away, that's good, but you keep yelling while you're doing it. While you do it, you keep giving away your position. Like, maybe just run away and shut up. Anyway, it's probably instinctual, right? To tell other squirrels, witness me, right? Witness me, witness. Anyway, so yeah, Zero Draft is something that is written in a relatively normal language, what you might consider as a non-literary language. And why do I do that? Well, because when you have a plan to write something, you kind of want to write it down, right? If I keep writing with the aim of, okay, I'm just doing the final thing now, well, then I'm gonna have ideas, and then it will be weeks before I get to actually write them down. I'll basically forget about them by then. No, but it is slightly elevated. It is slightly elevated. It is slightly kind of stylized, because obviously it's me. And it is proofread, I believe. Well, yeah, no, there might be mistakes. There might be mistakes. I didn't have AI read it, but goddamn spiders. But it was. I scanned it multiple times with my eyes. I read through all 3 of those chapters, all 3 of those 0 drafts multiple times, and I'm pretty sure there are no big typos or just like mistakes in general. Well, so that's probably what I wanted to address. So in my last Patreon update, which was recently, sitrep I call them, which stands for Situation Report, by the way, for those of you who don't know. I did not know for a long time, for the longest time. I was probably around 20 when I first looked up what it even meant. Yeah, I don't think you can see much haze on camera. Fascinating. Anyway, me. In the last Patreon sitrep, I said that I'm gonna take it easier on Patreon with music recommendations that I've been trying to do daily. It's not that they take a crap ton of time to make. Thanks for the vibration phone. But it's just well, even that is getting rather old, you know, because it's I think I should probably take it a bit easier. It's not that they take a lot of time to make, it's that I think I may be running out of things that I can like comfortably recommend to people. Actually no, I'm not. In terms of OSTs, maybe. In terms of just like music in general, no, definitely not. But I also kind of only want to recommend things that are somewhat adjacent, you know, with what I do. Okay, I'm gonna do not disturb. Thank you, phone. What the hell is this? I don't need this. Thank you, phone, again. Achoo. Blessings. No, there's a ton of music I could recommend, but I only want to kind of like stick to things that are adjacent to what I do, because otherwise it's probably gonna look weird. I don't want to annoy anyone too much. I'm already doing quite enough of that. Just want to share what I know. You know, finding music these days is not necessarily the easiest thing to do, because if you have not been into video games for 30 years, you don't even know which ones to play. You know, you watch all these stupid like clickbaity YouTube videos, and it's all just like Persona music, you know, in them, from people who never even played Persona, neither 3 nor 4, not even 5 most likely. And then yeah, called Fly. And then you, with like non-video game music, like good luck finding it. You know, music communities no longer exist. Like people like myself, we grew up, there were multiple message boards online. Like no matter where you grew up, there was a message board in your language. You know, everyone around the world was like in some kind of community. You know, if you were into metal, there was so much just kind of like music recommendations and music tastes being exchanged online everywhere. If you were into rock, if you were into electronic shit, like all that stuff was actually discussed, and all that stuff was shared all the time. You know, people, like if you were into metal, you would like know, enough. You would know of like an obscure metalcore band from Israel or something like that. If they were any good, you would know. Right? And now, like where would kids discover stuff like this? Of course they wouldn't. All right? Of course they wouldn't. So I'm just kind of like, trying to contribute what I can. And yeah, I think it would be way, much less annoying if I just like did one giant post of music, or even another like memory list of a kind for my website. But I would then have to, like, I don't know, guys. I think I might as well just like have it as a list on my Patreon feed. I don't know, like if you guys are annoyed by the nearly daily spam of music recommendations on my Patreon, I hope you can still follow me, but notifications off. Because like honestly, I don't understand what's the point of having all these notifications anyway, because I am basically using my Patreon right now as a social media feed type of stuff, because I'm no longer on Twitter. I will not be joining Blue Sky. I will not be joining Mastodon because no one's using it. You know, I might as well just like post to my own private Discord server, you know. Not even the one that I have that has like 3 people in it. No, like I may as well create my own Discord server, right? And post there. That's what it's like, you know, posting on Mastodon or Blue Sky. Because like no one's gonna hear me. And Blue Sky, technically, yeah, of course there are people on Blue Sky, but if you're a politically charged retard, then yeah, there are people. But if you just post about cool stuff like I do, like no one's gonna pay attention to you. You know, there's no community to interact with. It's just a political echo chamber, just like Twitter, only oppositively charged. And sorry guys, I don't really, I appreciate your passion, but I'm almost 35 years old. If I'm not paid for this shit, I cannot care for it. Have you noticed that every single person who is in politics is either super young and fell for the grift, or they are middle-aged and they are in the grift. They are the grifters, you know? So, like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm old enough to see that all of you are just 100% principleless grifters, and I cannot get emotionally invested in your stuff. But those of you who are on Blue Sky or Mastodon, yelling into the void, or Twitter, and you feel like you're doing something there, you feel like there's some kind of community there that is working towards something, that's achieving something, I appreciate your passion. I truly do, and I wish you luck. I just I don't have time for stuff like this anymore. I'm sorry. To give you an analogy, and feel free to get offended by it, but because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know, if you have a child, a literal baby, and baby wants to play dolls, well, you may engage with your baby to play dolls with your baby for a little bit, but you're probably not gonna get all that. Session ends abruptly. I'm not gonna go crazy, you know, about it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, goddamn, we didn't get to finish the play sesh. What the hell? Like, phone, come on. I turned down the brightness and now my screen is just completely off. What the fuck are you doing? Stop doing this. Phone. God damn it. Ridiculous. I need some backlight. Did you turn the fucking backlight off entirely? Oh. Goddamn technology. What? Why did you put this on the background? Device is too hot. Yeah, that's what I was trying to address. I was trying to turn down the brightness. Well, it's not really my problem. You can vent heat through like so many things. Feel free to get overheated, like whatever the fuck. Like, what can I do? Anyway. Yeah, I appreciate the passion of the people, but yeah, you know, I'm not gonna get emotionally invested into playing dolls with you. Especially since none of you are my babies. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, I may play doll with you if you're my friend, and I absolutely have to. You know, because I do want you to have fun and feel like acknowledged. You do want the baby, right, to feel like you care about the game, right? You don't want to be like a stupid baby with stupid dolls. Like, what do you want? You want me to care about this garbage, this trash that you like, baby? Like, you don't want to say that to a baby, right? So yeah, you play with them. And sometimes grown-up people are into toys, right? Like Nintendo fanboys, for example. And you kind of, you know, you play up your enthusiasm with them also. You kind of like, yes, my friend, I am totally hyped to see that new Disney movie. Sure, let's go watch it, friend. Right? Like, you do stuff like that periodically. But as a grown-up, you don't really give a fuck. Well, but you do that, right? You do that to your children. You do that to your friends who may be into childish things. But you don't do that to just like strangers and strangers' babies, because you got other things to do as an adult. And that's why I am not into any of those quote-unquote communities. And those aren't even the communities. It's literally just like people posting rage bait, trying to get engagement. That's all there is. It's just differently charged on, you know, on Mastodon. It's one way. Sorry, not Mastodon. Blue Sky and Twitter. Same thing, only one is technically bigger and charges are different. But other than that, it's just rage bait and echo chamber. Either a bunch of people agreeing with each other and raging at the same things for absolutely no reason half the time. So yeah, that's not for me, guys. I'm sorry. You know, if anyone ever invites me into a political party, if anyone ever invites me into onto a podcast or something, if anyone ever like wants to give me an actual platform, you know, where I could have a voice, because I don't have a voice on Twitter, I don't have a voice Blue Sky, like none of that. None of those platforms actually give anyone a voice. On Blue Sky, I don't know. I suppose you have to be degenerate in order to have a voice or something. And on Twitter, you basically have to pay to have a voice. If you don't pay on Twitter, you get no engagement at all, no matter what you post. And in terms of exchanging, like posting music, posting art, all of that stuff is just dead on Twitter. There's just absolutely no point. Like, I open my feed, I don't see a single game being developed, like being promoted, being developed. I don't see a single musician, you know, like maybe like a Eurorack, you know, modular synth musician just kind of like posting their doodles. No, all of that gone. Periodically, before I left Twitter, like 3-4 months ago, the entire feed would be just full of porn, just full of hoes promoting their promoting their OnlyFans. And sometimes it would be like actual porn, sometimes it would be like softcore porn, right? And then it would go like that for a couple days, and then the algorithm would refresh itself and it would go back to political grift. Well, like, I don't care about things like that, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think drip feeding, so kind of like social media type posting, music recommendations, I think that's the format to go, I think, because that way, you know, if I do like one big curated list and post it in one chunk, it has the implication of some form of finality, right? But if I just post daily or semi-daily, regularly, right, it has this kind of like real-time feeling, right? Of I'm just posting like a cool thing, and that's it. I'm not implying any kind of finality, and I subscribe to no obligation to maybe actually have the list updated. Because if I make a list of music, well, first of all, what the fuck do I even call it? Like the best music ever? Well, then what? Music that's not included in it is automatically not the best. You see the drama already brewing. And then if I don't touch it, because I have other things to do, you know, if I don't touch it for a couple of years, and some of the releases, I don't know, Aisha Devi, you know, comes up with, you know, another record, and it's not going to be on my list for a couple of years. Like, what? Could that be interpreted as me saying that album is not that great? Probably not, right? But it would look like that. So, I'm sorry, it's just, maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but I don't think it would be a good look, right? But if I just post one album at a time, it's an ongoing process that's kind of like never finished, and I take no responsibility for what is not included, right, into my recommendations at this point, because I'm just doing them one at a time, right? I'm not trying to make any kind of encyclopedia, because that would be a whole other project, and I don't think none of you guys want it, right? I mean, would you rather want me to spend like next year compiling, you know, that encyclopedia, or would you want me to just like do one album a day at a time? If you're really into music, that's like more than enough. If you're not into music, you're probably super annoyed and you turned off notifications or unsubscribed from me. But either way, I hope you can still follow me and just turn off those notifications if they annoy you. Because ultimately, I think it's like stupid. Like, why does Patreon does that? It's annoying to me as well. I follow a few creators who post rather often, rather regularly, and it's kind of like, bitch, when it's time for me to open Twitter and look at my feed, I will do it myself. I don't need Twitter to email me, you know, to be like, oh, dude, you're not gonna believe there's a new tweet in your feed. Open the app now and check it out. Like, I don't need that. You know, I'll figure it out myself, and I will see the new post, and I will understand that it's a new post, and I will be like, okay, cool, I just read the new post. That's it. You know, I don't need the email from the platform telling me there's a new post right now. I know. I will know. I will find out myself, right? I do not need that notification. So, yeah, I hope you guys can just turn those off if they annoy you and keep following. Because, yeah, if you're annoyed by them, I agree with you. It's silly. But suppose they weren't there. Would you still be annoyed with my Patreon feed? I think it's rather cool, no? Anyway, let me know what you think of it. And yeah, so here's the thing that I wanted to address, right? In my last Patreon update, I said that I'm going to take it easier with music recommendations and try to write a few articles. And those would have been video gaming articles. Well, truth is that, honestly, guys, dissecting video games is so boring to me right now. Because, like, I've seen all the video games. Like, you can show me any video game that came out in the last 10 years, and I would tell you, okay, cool, I get it. Even if it's a alright video game, it would still be something I've seen already. Like, what do you want me to say about this game that I have not said already 100 times about 100 other games just like this one, you know? So it's getting rather tedious, it's getting rather repetitive and boring, you know, just like to keep talking about video games. And it's actually been a while since I've played an older game that would like really engage me, like the Legacy of Kain series, for example. Obviously, was something I felt like talking about. But I do have a few games on my radar that now that I have a bit more free time, I do want to sit down and kind of experience for the first time all the games that I've neglected, so to speak, when they came out, because of course I was growing up during the period where to basically skip pretty much everything below like a 7, below an 8, like almost everything got skipped. Like, what, are you really going to play the Godfather game when there's like Mirror's Edge and MGS4, you know, or even like technically Godfather is a PlayStation 2 game. Like, really, are you really going to play that crap when there's a Prince of Persia 2 and there's like God of War or whatever, you know, when there's God Hand, when there's Okami, Killer 7, Resident Evil 4, like, he not going to, okay? So yeah, there are a few games that I want to check out, and maybe if they somehow intellectually stimulate me enough, I may write a few articles on them. But other than that, I've been playing quite a bit of a modern slop recently, basically just out of curiosity for two things. First, I wanted to see if my computer could even run some of those, and like with Returnal, for example, who the fuck would have known, right? It's an Unreal Engine 4 game, and apparently my computer can run Unreal Engine 4, and I've been getting some playable results out of it actually recently. Another game that ran on my computer acceptably recently was Hogwarts Legacy, for those who don't speak my language. But yeah, Hogwarts is actually running on my computer rather all right. Honestly, I was just like curious about what's in the game. Rather than like I was hyped and interested in playing a fun game, I was just curious to see how exactly they did a few things, right? Like, obviously the biggest thing on the nose is like, I wonder how they made Hogwarts this time. I wonder how it is. And yeah, my curiosity was most definitely satisfied, and I now know the answer to it. And most of the game is unbearably boring. It's not particularly great. I mean, it's not particularly bad. I mean, what's really bad is the story and the characters. The characters, the writing, everything has to do with the writing is just atrocious on that game. It's literally Mass Effect Andromeda all over again. I'm not sure why people weren't talking about it more. But regarding everything else, it's essentially a it's just yet another, sandbox slop, which people praise for absolutely no reason, because none of you actually finish games like these. Something like 10 to 15% of people even finish games at all, let alone AAA games, and actually something like 60 to 80% of you almost always drop every single Ubisoft type sandbox game with like 150 hours of content. Technically, you almost all of you drop these games about 8 to 10 hours in. And how do I know that? Because we all know that. You're gonna praise that slop on, wherever you can, but we all know you don't yourself even play it because it's boring and stupid, and you know it, but you cannot accept it. But we know that you don't even play it. We know. Why? Because we have achievements data from every single console. We have achievements data from Steam. We have achievements data from probably even Xbox, but we definitely have it from Sony. And we can tell that because most main quests in slop like this are tied to an achievement, right? So we can tell where you are regarding main story progression. And those games are mostly very heavily cog-blocked unless you progress the main story. So we know that it's not like, I didn't touch the main story, but I put 100 hours into the open world. No, we know you have not, because it would have been impossible. So, yeah. It's yet another, overpraised AAA open slop that none of the people who actually praised it for being an open slop, like actually engaged with it even in any rate, let alone finished the game itself. But it's all right. I mean, it sounds like I'm about to talk about it, but no, I will do it later after I have actually finished it. Yes, I legitimately am about to finish this game either today or tomorrow. And you might say, how the hell did you manage to do it? With a lot of podcasts and Netflix playing on the second monitor, first of all, and second, second, not second monitor, it's a whole other computer, but essentially, yeah, let's call it second monitor. And also, believe it or not, but in the last fifth of the game, the story actually suddenly becomes rather interesting. The story actually kind of wakes the fuck up in the last fifth of it. Yeah. So I will probably not be quote unquote writing several articles, or at least not anytime soon. Even pog words. I'm not really like it's. Like, what do you want me to say about it? It's that pretty much everyone who played the game said it's like, it's relatively inoffensive, but it is so soulless and bland that I don't even know if it makes me feel anything. That's like the best review of Pogwarts ever. Like, the best, most positive reviews of Pogwarts from people who aren't shills do all sound like this. Hey guys, this game isn't actually all that bad, but I cannot identify any feelings, rising inside of me. Like, I cannot tell what I feel about this game, and I think I feel nothing. But, like, if I'm being honest, the game is technically not bad. That's it. Like, if there's any magic to that to this Harry Potter game, is that it somehow manages to be not terrible, but it's still slop that you don't feel anything about. But it's interesting, right? I good Mupichipu. Very good cleansing had been done. Ayama. Very good cleansing. You cleansed all of myself. Alrighty. Yeah, there's like nothing. Like, I definitely, the game definitely did not stimulate me intellectually enough to want to write an article about it. I think all of you who played it would agree with me. There's honestly not that many things to talk about. Yeah, I would rather concentrate on finishing those 0 drafts that I have. There it is. It took me 40 minutes to finally get to the point that I basically started this whole video with. Instead of writing a few articles, I will finish those 0 drafts instead. Or at least, I don't know, as many of them, maybe 1 or 2, as many as I can. Another cleansing. Alrighty. And yeah, so that's one thing I will be doing. And of course, I am still doing new musical stuff here and there when I can. Until just a few days ago, I've actually been working on a new rig of a kind. It's a software rig, not a hardware, not like the ones you've seen on the live videos, because those were synthesizers from the library. But sorry, insects. I still had a few ideas, solid and unique, unusual, at least for myself, vision/ideas this time, and I needed to kind of like re-examine my instruments, so to speak. So it actually took a while to put together what I needed, and it's not just a list of synthesizers. It's quite a routing scheme of a kind, and took a while to actually find the instruments that could do it, and then to actually put it all together. Ooh, what's out there? Yeah, and I'm kind of still working on the setup, but also I will probably start. I mean, I already have all kinds of compositions, and stuff like that. It's just like now I need to actually sit down and see what I can do with them in terms of, turning them into electronic music and stuff. But also, by the way, a bunch of stuff that I want to do is more on kind of like ambient/drone/noise side. So it's not even something you can have a composition for. It's something that's pretty much entirely relying on just sound designing. Like the notes don't matter there, quite literally. Most of the time they don't matter at all, because it's all kind of like noise shaping, so you just take whatever note you want, and then the sound that your synthesizer make actually has absolutely nothing to do with the note that's being played. It's just a gate in, gate out, right? Well, not gate in, gate out, but you get it. It's just gate signal is what it takes. The note itself doesn't matter. Yeah, so new musics, and instead of bitching anymore about video games, I will be concentrating on finishing those 0 drafts, because once I do, I will technically have book 1. Yes, of course, it's self-edited. It will be self-edited at that point, meaning like a finished, professionally made book, but it will at least be fully readable. I mean, it is fully readable already, but the last 3 chapters aren't really intended to be read quite yet. Happen, which which who the hell knows what might happen ever. You know, it's not like I have a big contract or any right now. Wink, wink. Which is fine. I most likely do not entirely deserve one, mostly because it's just like, you know, the system is made such a way that if you don't have big academic credentials or big, I don't know, friendships in the publishing world, then you quote unquote are not deserving of being a professional writer, right? Because for a publisher to promote you, they need to write a picture of you as either some kind of elite professional, you know, like ex, you know, Navy SEAL or ex whatever fucking something, you know, hero of some kind of war conflict, or some kind of ex, you know, CIA interrogator, or somebody in academia, you know, with 300 PhDs, or just, you know, somebody who's been writing their whole life, and you can cite this writer as even if nothing they have ever written was ever actually read by anyone, if the record of it still technically exists, right, you can still sell it as like, you know, the writer of super, you know, novels such and such, and has been writing his whole life, and like, here are all the accomplishments that he did. And like, you just create fake professional reviews or pay for his stuff to be kind of like for it to be reviewed like retroactively. What do you call it? Like backdated, like backdate review it. And all of a sudden, you know, the record of it exists. Here are the official professional reviews. Like, yeah, dude, this dude is an accomplished writer. He's always been one. Right? And I don't necessarily have any of that, right? I don't necessarily have any friendships and to, you know, pull off something like this. I don't have like giant academic credentials, because I'm actually somebody who uses, I actually use my intellect, you know, to do thinking. I'm not just sitting on it and like collecting paycheck. You know, thank you, academia. You helped a lot with many things. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's it'll be more important. It'll be more good thing if I concentrated on finishing that novel. Because it's not entirely guaranteed that I will be, you know, that anyone will actually read it. So I may as well have something I can like post on my Patreon for free as soon as possible, so I can have it as part of my portfolio. Because I want to be ready for that situation as soon as possible. You know, I don't want to find myself in a position where I have this unfinished novel and no book deals and plenty of other things to do, but no time to actually finish this novel. Like, it would be pretty shitty. Like, I want to get it to the point where I can actually start showing it to people. And I could be showing it now, again, yes, those zero drafts, like, whatever. I can either throw them away in the public demonstration or just even include them, really, because why the hell not? As long as, obviously, it says that it's a zero draft. There are actually a crap ton of ants in this area. Like these little, like, I don't even know if camera catches them. Like in this specific area, it's all covered in these little ant hills. Not where Annie was laying. Actually, there's one. Yep, a few ants there. Fun times. But stand for a second. I'll give you another hand wipe. Just don't want any ants to be biting you. Plenty of things are already biting you 24/7, like fucking flies and stuff. Well, not literally 24/7, but when we are outside, yeah, there is like a constant barrage, depending on the weather. Like yesterday, for example, yeah, there was a constant just barrage of fucking black flies. Eating us both. Okay. Yeah, so again, just don't want to be in a situation where I may be busy with other stuff and I have this like half-finished novel that I couldn't really show anyone in its entirety, because even if I could, still, zero drafts will not be finished like ever, because I'm busy now or whatever. So there's an opportunity right now to finish that stuff, even if it is technically not necessary. I already have more than enough material, to potentially sell it to somebody. Sorry. Just getting this thing. If it was actually finished, I would be in a position where I could show it to somebody in a fully completed form, and I could self-publish it. In case something happens with my giant book deal plans. I wonder what might happen, and I wonder what the chances are of it completely falling through. I wonder if they might be high AF. Okay. I just randomly decided not to swear because I am partially on YouTube. Well, actually, I am fully on YouTube. It's just that I'm multi-streaming, but I am on YouTube as well. Yeah. So, fun times. And, doing music, and we'll be concentrating on finishing the novel after all. Because I took quite a bit of break from working on it. I think over a month. Yeah. And it's about time, I think, I finished it. Even though it will not help me in the short term at all, ish. Because the short-ish term is that I want to get this one, because there are a few things for it that I would need that require money, like editing for one, and also illustrations. So I would like to have it funded, honestly, even a little bit. And then, with the potential, with the door being open for, funding of everything that would come after it, because it's quite a bit of a series. So, yeah, that's the shortish kind of hope regarding the novel. But in the long term, if nothing comes through, and chances of it with me are always high, extremely, in fact, I would like, for that scenario, having a full manuscript would actually be rather helpful, because I could give it away in a full form, which is much nicer than what I have right now. And of course I could basically, because just why not, right? I could self-publish it. So yeah, I'll be working on that, and I will be working on new musics as well. In terms of streaming, podcasting, whatever, I'm probably not going to do any of that anytime soon. Although I had an idea recently. I was thinking maybe I could stream the Final Fantasy remakes, because I haven't played either first one or the second one. My computer could probably run both of them, because even the second one is Unreal Engine 4, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, there was a mosquito on his leg, his hind leg. Okay, well, that's about it. Final Fantasy streams. Why streams, by the way? Well, because I don't know. I don't think I will have the just boredom capacity to sit through that. It's just not particularly engaging. And it's the you know, SMT games are engaging because of its gameplay, and also because, all things considered, levels in SMT games are actually really short. Yeah, that's what you get for standing in place, boo. You need to move around. You need to move around, you need to run around, you need to play games and stuff like that. Am I to blame for not playing games with you? Well, okay, it's already been an hour, by the way. We've been outside for an hour. We should be dead now from all the exposure. Okay. Yeah, so you're not gonna play right now because it's too hot. So what's been biting you? Me. What's been biting you? I don't think there's anything biting you. Okay, yeah. But will I actually do the streams? I don't know. Because no one would do them with me. Joey is now a professional full-time musician. So what? What else? Not to dox, so I'll say the nickname Gary. Would he? Would he do it? I doubt it. Yeah, but even if I were to do it as a stream, sorry, I'm gonna put you in my pocket for a second because I need to use both hands right now. I actually did not need to use both hands, but there's a bit of a maneuvering I needed to do there, and it's easier when you have both hands free for that. Okay, well, anyway, what do we have? We probably have something around like 200 hours of content, right, between those two games. And it's just unrealistic. It would take me like half a year probably to stream that. And to sit by myself and play through all that crap, it wouldn't be as long. It wouldn't take as long, but it would still be probably a month or two. So I'm not playing those games by myself. I'm just gonna get bored. I don't have the time for stuff like that. Those games are very nice because you need to understand who those games were originally made for. Those games were made by basically otakus, right, from the 90s. Like, we're talking people living basically in small rooms, just like surrounded by media, and they just have their futon and they have their TV right in front of them, and that's it. That's their life, and that's what they do 24/7. and maybe once a week, or once a month, they get their giant backpack ready and they go to Akihabara. And like for those people, it's not that big a deal, to basically, you want to play through Final Fantasy VII? Like, yeah, dude, it's like 100-hour journey. For them, it's not a big problem. And I'm not saying it's not partially sad that I no longer have time for stuff like this. Partially it is sad, right? But I just, how should I put it? I can see myself putting 100 hours into something like Oblivion, or even like Kingdom Come. Because it's actually engaging and you're actually doing something. But to play a JRPG like Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy is no SMT. Final Fantasy is something you more watch rather than actually play. And it's even SMT gets rather unengaging, honestly, after a while. The only level of engagement it manages to hold on you, onto you, whatever, is mostly just due to difficulty. But then again, which game are you talking about? That not all SMTs are equally difficult. Like SMT4, for example, is not difficult at all. So yeah. Yeah, but something like Final Fantasy is just not engaging enough. You basically just sitting down and watch it happen. And yeah, I get it. There's a lot of story to actually watch that's like interesting and engaging and whatnot. But like in terms of gameplay, you don't really do anything, right? In Final Fantasy games, you're just sitting down and pressing forward and pressing like X or A, whatever, depending on which platform you're doing it, like to basically just do auto attack. And periodically you choose, some kind of like magic attack. You basically just like mashing, the confirm button and pressing forward. And it's okay. It's okay if you like it. It's just that I was able to do something like this as a kid. I just can no longer do it as an adult. My brain just no longer works like that. My brain no longer tolerates spending time like this. Aini, would you come here already? Aini. Come here. Okay then. Like I said, he was never going to play. He just wants to stand in one place and be eaten by mosquitoes. Because it's not cold enough outside to be playing. Well, by the time it gets cold, we only have like 10 minutes to play because it's about to get dark. It's already getting dark usually by the time it gets colder. Yeah. So yeah, had that pretty... That's something I actually would have done. Something I actually would not have minded at all. To sit through a game that I legitimately would probably never play by myself, and just sit through it in a stream format. But here's the problem. In just a week or two, it's gonna get so hot in here. My computer probably would not be able to run anything even remotely demanding, and Final Fantasy VII remakes are, And second, I just... as long as I have things to do, as long as I have projects to work on, I'm not going to stream 24/7. And if I'm not streaming 24/7, it's going to take me forever to get through those games. So may as well not start. But should I sit down and do some kind of podcast type of thing? I would love to do like an AMA, or like just chatting type of thing for my channels as streams. Honestly, I would love it. But just kind of like, sitting down and talking to myself for 6 hours, every couple days, it gets old after you do it once. It was fun once, It was fun for a few months, once in my life, when I actually built a bit of a following on Twitch. I even forgot the name of it. But not anymore. I'm not as young anymore, and also I don't, I've done it once. I'm literally going to go nuts if I do it again. But yeah, if anyone wants to co-host a stream or a whole streaming operation, one properly planned podcast with topics and stuff a week, another podcast or another stream of literally just random shit. If we have a great conversation, we can go for, I don't know, however long you want. 4, 6, 8 hours, easy, no problem. We do it. And once more, another stream is like a game stream. Yeah, just whatever. It's kind of like a podcast type stream where we talk about whatever, but with the game stream, not everyone is obligated to be present, first of all, and second, there is no obligation to have, there's no expectation and no obligation to have an actually proper conversation. Because you know what I'm talking about, right? You know the difference between just random bullshit people say while playing some grindy Twitch, made for Twitch game, versus the type of conversation that is expected from a podcast. So that's what we can do. One real podcast a week, one game stream, and one kind of just chatting stream. Boom. You do that with a little bit of funding for marketing, essentially, for visibility. And who knows? Game Grumps 2.0. Let's go, bitch. Or whatever. Yeah, I've had that idea years ago, but no one would do it. No one would commit to something like this. And by myself, guys, I cannot be sitting in front of my computer for what would amount to 30, 40 hours a week talking to myself. I just cannot. And in terms of just even doing a podcast type of thing, guys, I don't care about modern world news. I don't care about what games are coming out. You're not gonna get too much out of me. So I don't follow any of those things. I don't know how to follow any of those things. I don't read Kotaku. I don't read IGN. I don't know how to do any of that. News aggregate, I suppose. Guys, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I need somebody to have a conversation with. I cannot have a conversation about Sony's state of play stream. Because the conversation about it I would have with myself would be, whatever. I absolutely don't care about anything that is happening on stream right now. And that's it. that would be it. That would be my review of it. So yeah, sorry guys, I quite literally cannot do it by myself. So I would love to have some kind of podcast / broadcast product for you. But I don't have enough audience to be doing streaming. And I don't have any money to buy exposure. Like Ludwig and whatnot. I don't have any friends or money to buy myself a spot in this ecosystem. And I'm not streaming talking to myself for 8 hours a day. And I cannot have a podcast because there's nothing basically I can talk about that is podcast worthy. So yeah, need to get a ton of money first through something. And I have I have many things. It's just that, you know, I'm an unacknowledged talent in the empty void that only recognizes echoes of itself. So I'm having some difficulties right now, but let's see where it all leads us. All right.